everybody. How's it going? Happy Monday. How's everybody doing? All right. Hi, Heather. Hi, mods. Let's see who we got here. Oh, Karen Canada. Thank you so much for being a member. That is so awesome. I'm so glad you're part of the team, the evening crew. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, gotta get my beep, beep. Let's see. I didn't hear it go off. I must have... there's a delay, so maybe that's what it is. Anyway, hi everybody. How are you? We got 12 Step Woman. Hello, Shandon and Margaret. Thank you so much for being here. Susanna, thank you for being here. Valkyrie's Corner. Hey, honey. I've been watching your videos. I saw the Tim Mullen one and I'm right there with you, girl. There's something wrong with that. Hey, SB. Hello. How's everybody doing? Eve, can you pretty please pin the member link? I will do that right now. I just got a call from Equisearch that hung up on me, and I tried to call back, and I guess they're having issues. So I'm like, oh, tell me something. Please get me out of the house. Let me go do something. Get some help. Just help someone. Because focusing on me too much, I don't do well with that. I like to escape, and do my thing. Speak of the call I was talking about. I'm gonna let it go to the messages. I will get to it here in a minute. All right, let me post that link to the memberships. So this is about summer, obviously. And what I want to talk about is a little bit of Jose and Andrew Hiltz and the interview room with Josh from the lab. I think it's kind of important to talk about, yeah, I think it's very important. So there's some things that I was thinking of that kind of hit me wrong later on, that I want your opinion on, obviously, because it just doesn't make sense. But the one thing that I do want to say about Jose that I do agree with is that mental health and mental illness isn't taken as seriously still to this day as it should, right? Like it totally should be. And I'm sure that it was very hard to go through all of that shit talking and all of that. We don't know what exactly happened. We're only going, based on what has been told. And we can barely use that as credible when it comes to Dawn and Candace and everyone around them. So it's like a double-edged sword, which we can only do what we can do with that information. Hi, Sky. Hello, everybody. If you are, if you're just coming in, hello. Thank you for being here. And thank you, new members, for joining. I appreciate you so much. Summer supporter, hi, honey. Yeah, Karen Canada, I really appreciate it. I am having a video come up pretty soon about, the donations for January through March, which there was nothing in January, but February and March, when April rolls around, I'll let you know where they all go. There was only $100, which is wonderful for February, but we're not done yet. So I'm going to wait until that kind of builds up before donating, right? It would make sense to do it all at one time. Okay. So there was something about Jose at the beginning kind of coming off a little bit like strong about my name is Roman, not Roman, correcting Chris, which I thought was funny. I cracked up. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I thought it was hilarious. But sometimes I think that as much as I respect Chris Madonna 100% hands down. I do. Sometimes I wish that he would let people answer before like giving them some leading answers for them. You know what I mean? Like, so tell me what you mean by that. That's perfect. He does that a lot. But sometimes he'll be like, do you mean this or this? And it gives them a choice, right? Instead of letting them explain it in their own words. And he did say plenty of times, Chris McDonough said plenty of times, there's some things that, I'm going to hold you accountable for. Hello, guess who? Hi, Tater Chip. All right, so let me pull this up. This makes me laugh. I'm going to show you where. They were having some technical difficulties, obviously. And shout out to the interview room and Josh from the lab for letting me go over this information. And if it isn't okay, I will cut it out. I will cut it out. But I doubt it's an issue. Hey, Brooke. Welcome in, welcome in. Uh-oh. It's being crazy.
Depression, anxiety.
This is where he was talking about the anxiety and everything.
I just had a whole bunch of things.
Like
Hi, Grammy H. There it is.
Right.
The way he says right.
Yeah, hang on, folks, if you could. Jose, I'm going to have
Listen to this. This
Josh
is just
call
to
you,
liven
and
up the
pipe
mood
you in
here.
through his system here.
Okay, so do I exit out of this?
Yeah, because we don't want to keep having this go
No,
down.
you can drop off here, Jose, and then if you
Okay,
just
thank you,
put a
12
banner
step.
up at the bottom saying, that
SB,
we're on
thank
with-
you for joining.
Okay. Oh, and Chris, I wanted to say it's Jose Roman, not Ramon.
Okay, Roman, got it. Thank you for correcting
Yes.
me.
Listen,
Yes.
Josh goes, like the candle.
Okay, well, we get that set up, folks.
like Roman candle.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to create
I'm sorry,
a
I thought that
banner
was funny.
here.
He's like, don't get my name wrong. You know what? I was calling Jose Roman. I am totally guilty of it. So, hi, Lori. So I get it. I do have little snippets of where I heard some interesting things. Let me pull it up because I was listening intently last night. For sure. So this was at timestamp about hour and some odd.
Thing to me.
Well, I mean, it was weird
Yeah.
enough for you to have a confrontation.
Okay, this was about
Oh,
Dawn in
yeah.
the
Well, he
shower.
confronted
Okay, I
me.
want to get the.
I didn't confront him. All I did was talk to the baby.
Okay, I wanted to get the heavy stuff out of the way at the beginning. There was something very specific about, the pink towel, and he remembers it being washed every other day because summer was dirty. I have yet to see or understand why these parents have not been charged with neglect and abuse. I do have a theory on some of the information about her Summer's condition as a little girl. We all know that she was not taken care of properly. There was a lot of people in the house that could have done more. They know that. At least Jose knows that. But that includes Andrew. That includes everybody in that house. So at least Jose said something to at least the interview room, right, for his part in not doing more. But you don't hear that from anybody else. All you hear from Andrew is excuses. All you hear from everyone else is excuses. And it comes back to that we just don't, that Southern mentality, old mentality of you just don't mess with other people's lives and their kids and what they do. And that shit, it's not going to fly in 2022. Not with how these cases are going. Nope. And so what I was going to say, my title is Summer Wells, Your Truth Will Never Be Hidden. What I mean by that is, no matter what, if we find Summer, if we don't find Summer, you can never squash her truth. It's coming out. It has come out. It will always be a topic. Her case, no matter what happens, guys, it's going to change, and it has changed our country, bare minimum. And I really think that you can't squash Summer Wells' energy. You just can't. It's about accountability, and it's about innocence, and righting the wrong of blatantly neglecting true innocence. That, I hate to call it her life path, or but that's what it has become because of her parents and the neglect of people around her, including CPS and including everything. It was just a full-blown, here's where everything goes wrong in some children's lives. Here's the full spectrum of exactly what goes wrong. Harmony Montgomery, the West Boys. God, I could go on. And it's even getting worse now, because when you're stuck in a house, let's just say COVID happens, right? A pandemic happens and there is no resources available, or you don't have a system in place that can even handle non-pandemic times. It really just goes to show how god awful our government is, state, local, whatever, at protecting children. I don't care if you think that the state should be, laissez-faire, not involved. When you think that it's just the parents' responsibility to just buck up, shut up, and do the right thing. Well, that's not how it always works, right? It's just not the reality. The reality is that you can have 20, 30, 40 people, the government, the city, and a pasture down the street, a SDA church down the street, a dental hygienist that knows the signs of teeth decay and rot in a 5-year-old, 4-year-old child, and still be failed. And still be failed. And that is the truth that can't be hidden, is what has happened, no matter if it was after or before she went missing. The truth is that you can't squash the evidence of neglect and abuse and how so many failed. And that is the problem. So that's never going to go away. That's always going to be in everyone's minds. It's happening with Harmony Montgomery's case, where they're taking action. I don't see how this would ever go backwards from here. It's only going to go up, because there is accountability. You cannot hide the truth. You can't hide Summer's truth, because it's right there. It's right there in front of us. Not that she doesn't deserve justice, but let me tell you something. This is big. What has been exposed of what happens to these babies it's huge, and it's unfortunate, and it shouldn't get that way. It shouldn't be that way, but it is, and it has been. And so Summer is literally going to change the entire foundation. I hope destroy it, so that we can rebuild this god-awful system. All right. Rant over. So I wanted to talk about, again, Dawn's hearts. Dawn and Jose, having an argument because he basically got Summer out of the shower. Trigger warning: if this is something that might be triggering for you or traumatizing for you about this, I suggest maybe coming back in a little bit. Sky says he is not owning anything. He is dodging the real truth to save his own butt. Yeah. I'm assuming that is Dawn. Grammy H says he is the only one that has admitted fault. Oh, Jose. Yeah. There's a little bit of accountability there, but there's some truths that are skewed. Let's just say that. There's some misdirected truths. And we'll get to that. But let's get this out of the way. I wanted to talk about this
So, like,
situation.
you need to watch her more often, more closely.
When was the first time you were interviewed by the FBI?
Andrew that vouched.
Like, we'll grab a pizza and put it in there.
Say it again.
I was Jose. Even if they knew you,
Like, not jump, but like I just got off the table right away, and I was like, "Where's her towel?" And I looked. That was her favorite towel. Out, and this is why I felt that they were afraid of him.
No
Yeah,
question about it. But
very. Yeah.
yeah, and but
right.
what else drives? What drives Dawn? I mean, you had some observations of some. There was some weird that you mentioned, and what about the abuse situation from anybody, if anything? Even you raised some red flags, and correct me if I'm wrong. But when I walked into that house, I mean, that house just screamed all kinds of dysfunction. I mean, alcohol, drugs, SA. I mean, that, just check each box and keep moving down the hallway. And then when you get to the dungeon and you see what's on the TV.
So it was brought to my attention by AB Watchdog. I think that's his channel name now, or what I'm watching. And he pointed out that the TV had some explicit material. I never noticed that, or I guess maybe I didn't see it or couldn't see it because of the graininess. I don't know. I never recognized that. But he pointed that out, and I was flabbergasted when I watched it on my phone and blew it up. I was like, oh my God, that's true. It really was explicit material, adult material, spanking and whatnot. I didn't know if that was just like a whoopsie. They just had it on, but was that Summer's room, guys? Girls Gone Wild, that's disgusting. That was her room. That's where she slept and played in. You know what I mean? What in the world does that make it ever okay? And apparently he did this all the time. And so a lot of people still feel bad for Dawn and think that Dawn's the one getting thrown under the bus. And I want to squash that shit right now. I mean, if you think for a minute that Dawn and Candace are being brutalized and attacked and all that, like, no, they brought this on themselves. The character is there. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is just clear as day that these two are the epitome of the worst parents. They don't have any children. There's your 7 alibis that Don was talking about. 7 children that you don't have. And I hope to God you never do. Again, ever. It's just ridiculous. So I just wasn't aware of that, and I just wanted to point out how disgusted I was when I found that out. Gross.
I was shocked. But I could tell you that wasn't Candace watching that.
Well, I don't know who was watching it. I don't know.
No, but that's Dawn all over. That's the type of thing he used to watch.
Okay, fine.
That's him.
And so the question then is, when Dawn comes back from Utah and you're there, that turns into
Shandon,
a problem pretty quickly. I mean, to the point where he goes to jail, right? Mm-hmm. Felon in possession of a handgun.
Yep.
You're still there, but then shortly thereafter.
Okay, so there were so many. This is one of the things I wanted to talk about. Why Jose and Dawn were fighting truly. So Jose, states that it was about Candace. I've heard so many theories. It was Grandis. They were fighting over each other. But you know what? Jose said he was drinking a lot. Like, he said he was drinking almost every other day when he got there. And then it kind of slouched off and he got better once he started working. Excuse me. So I'm trying to figure out, where is everybody else? All of those 7 other people that were at the house? Where are they? Where are they sleeping? What are they doing? Where are they at? What drugs are they doing? What are they drinking? And I know Jose probably doesn't want to implicate anybody. It's been hard enough, but you know, in my mind, when he's telling me all these people are here doing this, that, and the other, I'm seeing chaos. I'm seeing literal chaos and a platform for predators. I'm seeing like somebody getting hurt. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? And nobody around Ben Hill Road saw anything about that was questionable and didn't call like the law all the time. Because to be honest with you guys, I think CPS was called from Summer going to get her school shot records and immunizations to enrolling in pre-K or kindergarten. Excuse me. I really do. I think that nobody in particular called CPS except for, in my opinion, medical staff. Makes sense to me. Makes a lot of sense to me. And I believe that triggered a lot of, because you know, when you get a medical facility calling, it's a lot, I think it's more urgent and seen more as priority than maybe somebody calling. That's just an individual. However, everybody's a mandated reporter in Tennessee. But I think it would be more if a doctor were to say, you know, hey, something's wrong. So I'm just trying to understand what's going on with everybody. So Jose is now kind of like the front man to kind of avoid all of these other people. Where the fuck are y'all? Excuse my language, but where are y'all? I would like to speak to, and I know Andrew, I don't even, no, he can go to hell in a handbasket and whoever he was with. But everybody else, you know, what say you? Because you're just as bad. You're just as bad. I'm not trying to shame anybody. I'm just saying, if you knew what was going on, why didn't you do anything either? It's not just Jose, you know. Andrew, to be honest with you, you're the biggest juju head out there. There's something up. There's something wrong with this. I think that this is a fallacy. So, you know, this guy, you know, Jose, I understand he's going through a lot, but there's just something wrong with this. You can only boo-hoo so much, but I'm boo-hooing for Summer not being there. And if there was something that you could have done and you obviously saw something, I can't cry for you. And I wouldn't want you to cry for me if it was that way for me. So Andrew, you're still on my shit list. And I think he needs to be brought up again. I think we need to talk to him. I don't need to talk to him. Y'all can talk to him. But there's something else. So now we're going to go back to see all the bullshit that Andrew talked about and what Jose talked about. And I'm going to expose every single thing that he lied about. Every single thing. Because it's not adding up what Jose's saying versus what Andrew's shit's been spilling out of his mouth for the last, 4 or 5 months. Yeah, we gonna go there today. Not today, but I'm gonna go there.
Or you bail. You leave.
Yeah, I just left. Yeah.
But in between that time, while he was home, you saw some actions that you had described. I heard you say it. Just was kind of pretty problematic. And I don't want to go into it, but. Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. You know, and the more and more I spoke out, the more and more he didn't like it. That was the problem. Because no one spoke out. And this is why I felt that they were afraid of him.
Who's they?
I just, Candace and her mother.
Okay. But now in retrospect, looking back, when you first tell the FBI after 7 days, there's no way. Did you include the SA allegations or the observations?
No.
How come?
I really wasn't even thinking about that, honestly.
Really wasn't thinking about that. Well, okay. I understand. You're obviously in a new place. You're an alcoholic. You're trying to get over things. You're trying to work. You don't want to mess with people's kids and their lives, right? Okay, whatever. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, but you wouldn't have to worry about it. And I'm not trying to shame Jose. I'm not. I know he knows he messed up. But you wouldn't have to worry about anything if you would have called right then when shit was sideways. I mean, I've called on people when I walked in, not realizing that it was the situation that it was, as soon as I walked out that door. Immediately. And that's what you should do. So it has to be on your mind. If you pulled that girl out of the shower or told her to get out of the shower, it was there. I'm telling you. There's something up with this shit, this story. There's something up with it.
Okay.
That wasn't even a thought in my mind because I didn't think he was doing any SA2 summer when he was in the bath with her. I just found it disgusting to take a bath with your daughter. You know? That was my my trigger there. Like, no, I don't think so. But as far
And
as
you
the SA
confronted him, right?
yes,
You
yes. I took Summer out of that shower. Yes, I did. I stood there with her pink princess towel because that was her favorite towel, and she always used it. And I remember that towel because that towel would get washed like every other day because Summer would always be dirty because she was outside playing so much, and she would
I
always
just
be full of dirt.
I'm just curious, Jose, though, in full transparency, the fact that you have witnessed potentially something that even caused you as a father internally to say, you know what, that DLR, right, does not look right. And you intervene, and that intervention causes a major disruption between you and a father and a daughter and children and all this other stuff. And then this child goes missing, down the road. Now, mind you, you're gone. Okay. I get that piece, brother. Okay. But at the same time, when the cops and the authorities come to you and
I know he's about to say when the cops come to you and you have an opportunity to express a specific situation that you're concerned about while he's going to jail for felony possession of a firearm, this would have been the perfect opportunity to slam dunk Don's ass. This would have been the perfect time. Please let me know if you disagree, anybody. This would have been the perfect time to put that motherfucker. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I need to stop that. This man down. Because you got somebody outside of the immediate family telling someone, hey, this is what I had to do. This is what I'm witnessing. And everybody around them that was there could have done the same thing. So, Jose saying, well, I didn't really have to live there. I was making my money and doing my thing. What about everybody else? What about everybody else? Was that place just a landing pad for people? No. I'm sorry. So once we talk about that, we're going to swing back around real quick to that trip to New York with the U-Haul and the shit. And then we're going to wrap it up because I think it's malarkey. I know that's like the widest thing to say, and it's malarkey to me.
You mentioned, okay, did she go out? They had to have asked about, was there any type of observations or problems in that home that you could at least, give us a little more intel into? And now maybe this was just your mindset at the time, and I don't want to, disrespect you. I'm not disrespecting you.
No,
I'm just saying, I'm just saying,
you're right.
this just doesn't, I don't know if it fits. Does that make sense in terms of it is what it is, but if that's what you did and that's the truth, okay, no problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they didn't ask me nothing like that. That
Okay, they didn't go down that route.
They didn't. No, they did not. Absolutely not. It was more like they felt like they did bodily harm to her.
Got it. Okay,
That's what I got.
So I love this part's important too, because when they went to interview Jose around the 23rd, it was 7 or 8 days after, right? I'm going to make sure that that's the 23rd. The 22nd or 23rd when they went to interview Jose, they were already thinking that these people neglected and may have harmed her. They already had that in their mind a week in. And I had a feeling that that was the case. I had that feeling that they were like, this ain't right because of the searches. So I think that this theory has been going on for a very long time. And I'm going to tell you, I seriously think it's key that whatever that CPS case is, allegedly, that, or
I don't know what you mean.
or the medical staff potentially when she went to go get her immunizations and her physical that is required by the state to enroll. Somebody went, something ain't right here. Something is not right with Summer. We need to report this. That's alleged. I don't know that for a fact, but it just makes sense, right? So again, I think that they knew that from that. That's what kind of makes me tie in the CPS case. Honestly, it just makes sense to me.
From their questioning to me about them.
Yep, absolutely. Fair enough. Fair enough. And I can see that unfolding just the way it did, just what you're saying. Been there many times, and it has fallen into that point. So in retrospect now, looking back, what's your opinion?
I should have did something. I really do. I should have did something.
Mm-hmm. At least he admits that,
Yeah.
though. I have to give him that.
That's what I honestly believe, because I feel that time that I pulled her out the shower, that should have been me. I should have just picked up the phone and called the cops right then and there. But my main worry was that I did that and the cops really didn't do much. You know, they wouldn't have looked at it as he's doing anything bad because we were all in there, you know, while they were in the shower. I didn't even know.
We were all
until
in
I heard
there.
her voice. And
See, he heard him. We were all in there. Yes. So y'all were all complicit. And where's the talk of the boys? What are the boys doing? Where are they at? Are they taken care of? It's not just Summer there. It's the boys too. What are they doing? Are they running around? It's just very strange. Was Summer the only one neglected and not the boys? Because obviously they had some issues too. There were some issues with Dawn and letting the oldest one smoke weed with him and stuff. But can we think about what about the boys? What about that? Maybe they're being told not to say anything about them, which is good. But if not, like, what's going on? It's very interesting.
I was like, "Where's Summer?" "Oh, she's in the bath with her dad." I'm like, "What? What do you mean with her dad?" And Candace was like, "Yeah, he always takes the bath with her." I'm like, And I just not jumped, but like I just got off the table right away. And I was like, where's her towel? And I looked and I found it right on the dryer and I just grabbed it. And I'm like, "Summer," and she's like, "Yes." And she's like, "Yes, okay." I said, "Come out here, baby." Just like that. And she's like, "Okay." And she came out and I just wrapped her up in the towel. And that's when Dawn came out of the shower, still half full of soap, screaming at me, you know? And I'm like, I really don't, you know, and I was swearing back at her. But I basically told I didn't care because I don't think like that. And then I looked at Candace. I said, "Matter of fact, you go and take a bath with Summer." I said, "This is not going to happen anymore." But looking at that, that's when I should have just picked up the phone and called. But wasn't sure if anything would have happened or not.
Yeah, I mean, you called it the way you saw it. I mean, I understand. Well, go ahead, Josh. What are your thoughts?
Well, you would have been out. First of all, you'd have been out of a. Obviously, you're probably thinking as well, "I'm not going to have a place to stay."
No, because at that time
Right.
I already was working, so I had money saved up a little bit. So even if I would have got kicked out or I didn't have nowhere to go, I had money for me to at least stay a night or two in a hotel.
Right? Is
All right, I'm
At
going to
that
go
time, I
off of
think she
that.
was like 3.
I'm going to go off of that subject now. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. There was plenty of people there to report a lot of neglect. It didn't work. It didn't obviously happen. Again, just like Harmony Montgomery and all of these other children, there were so many opportunities for someone to do something. Multiple people that were in a church, people that were mandated reporters in a sense of professionalism. It didn't happen. He says now that now, but he's sober. Back then he was not, right? It could have been skewed. Obviously, this man has been in prison before, and has done some things obviously drugs and almost lost his wife and 3 children, or did, I don't know, and tried to straighten up. So, I mean, he could be skewed. His whole thought process and truth could be different than what it was. I don't know. But I think that a lot of people should be paying for the neglect and the eventual potential disappearance. But at least the neglect and the lack of reporting, because in Tennessee, you are a mandated reporter, and guess how many people did not report? Shit, take the whole SDA church that was there that saw Summer. If they didn't do anything, they all need to go. Them, you go into jail, you go into jail, everybody goes to jail, like Oprah. I'm telling you, because that will set the precedence for you to say something if you see something. Make an example out of these people that were closest to her. Period. Especially every single person that was in that house, including you, Andrew. Especially you. Because you have a son who might be having nefarious dealings with an adult when he's a minor. There should be neglect charges, in my opinion, not on just Summer, not reporting neglect on her, but your son. Why aren't these being handed out like fucking candy bars? Because that would set a precedence, especially in Tennessee when it's so rampant, obviously. Why aren't we doing this? Are we waiting? What are we waiting for? You put 2-3 people in there for neglect or mandated reporter charges. They're going to sing like a canary. Somebody's going to sing. And we're finally going to end this shit. That's just my opinion.
House locked in the back for almost the majority of the ride.
So at some point you make the destination. And where did you guys pull into when you first got to Tennessee? Do you remember?
Yeah, we stopped at the storage where Jeff wanted to put some of the things in storage because they really did have a lot of stuff. So
And that
I didn't
Jeff-
think that the house was like real big, but he just wanted to.
On a separate live that I will do probably tonight or tomorrow, we are going to talk about Mr. Jeff.
Sort some things out. So he was like, I'm just going to get the storage. We put everything here into the storage because the people who had rented the truck and the van, they had to return that back that day. And we knew it was a long ride for them to go back. So when we got there, we parked in front of the storage. We probably waited about an hour for it to open. Once it opened, he went in, got the storage. He drove the truck in, and we just unloaded it into a unit. And then they were supposed to leave. And
That's
within
right,
the time
Sam.
we're unloading, Jeff and Andrew are on their phones. And I guess that's when they found out that the house didn't come through and all this other stuff. They were upset. And then Jeff and Andrew were talking, well, let's find a hotel at least, so we could figure out what we're going to do because Jeff already had his transfer in and he didn't want to lose it. So me and Andrew, we walked a lot in that beaming sun. I don't know if my shoulders were burned because I had a tank top on. I never will forget that.
I'm sorry here. Okay. I know I'm not proud of this because I was raised in a decent home, but there were people around that you just knew or knew of that were like that, where you'd see them walking on the side of the road because things didn't fall or things fell through. They didn't have a fucking plan. They were druggies or they were alcoholics. They weren't the best citizens. This is a type. This isn't just, oh, I was down on my luck and this thing didn't fall. This thing fell through. Normal people that don't have a lot of issues with the law and drugs and alcohol don't have these issues that where it falls through and you're stuck somewhere in a U-Haul. This is not what, this is red flags, sus, We all know the difference between something falling through and you're still in a house and living and you can afford to get a hotel and you're not addicted to drugs and not a felon. And that. Stop. This whole, well, I'm just down on my luck here and there and it's situational. A lot of people, a lot of felons and a lot of drug addicts and people that live this way make excuses and makes things situational. Oh, well, it just happened this way, and oh, shoot, this thing didn't work out. No, It's because you don't have your life together and you're doing everything except for what you're supposed to do, as taking care of your kids and yourself. Period. It's not situational. This was intentional. You coming here with all these people was intentional. And Andrew needs to speak the truth on that. And quit doing this all day. All of them need to. Because Josh, I love Josh from the lab, but I'm going to tell you you're absolutely wrong on this. When you see something that is obviously blatantly there, there's no sugarcoating it, you call it for what it is. It's not our job to protect Jose, Andrew, and all these fuckers' feelings because Summer's missing. That's who we need to be protecting. So don't worry. That's their responsibility as adults to be worrying about their feelings. We did not ask them to go to that house. We did not ask them to go on YouTube. We did not ask them for their opinion except for where's Summer, what happened, and what's the truth. So once they step on that platform, hello, shouldn't be around people like that if you didn't want it. So no, I'm not apologizing for me calling it what it is and all these other creators who were just trying to find Summer. It is what it is. But I still love the lab and I still love Josh. But that's just how I feel. Josh, I don't apologize for that.
Okay, so just out of curiosity, then, the house falls through, or at least it sounds like it's falling through. How does the Wells family come into this? At what point?
So, Andrew had called them, like after we unloaded the truck that we started looking for the hotel room. It must have been a second or third hotel we went to check.
Mhm.
And he says, I'm going to call my son's mother. Maybe she might know a cheap enough hotel for all of us to get, at least 2-3 rooms for us.
Okay.
And he wound up calling her, and then she was like, "You're here?" And he's like, "Yes, we're here." And then he gave her the directions. Maybe a half hour later, we met her in front of like a Dollar General or something like that, and it was like right down the block from the storage. And that's when I first seen them. I didn't actually meet them until we were loading the truck for them to leave, and I said, "I'm not going back." And I was like, "Please talk to your son's mother to see if she can help me find a place out here. I could get a job, I'll pay rent, whatever like that." And that's where she had spoken to Candace.
Okay,
And
so
Candace
this is
said,
when you say seen them, who's them? This is Allie,
Candace.
and who's
Candace, her mother, Allie, Allie's youngest daughter, and Hunter and Summer.
so everybody meets you guys at this Dollar General store. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what happened?
And Andrew and them were speaking. I was just by the truck, just sitting down, resting. And we must have been there about a good 2 hours.
You're going to tell me, guys, listen to this. I'm sorry. You're going to sit here and tell me you're loading your kids up. You got Allie. Everybody's talking on a whim. Hey, let's just have these people come over with no nothing. Or if they had money, they would have a hotel, no problems, and we'll just work it out. No, they had nothing. And they're just going to hop on over to Candace's house when, first of all, the shit's falling apart. Second of all, there's not enough room. There's not enough beds. There's not enough space for anybody in there anyway. And you're just going to load everybody up and put them in this nasty-ass house on Ben Hill Road. Are you kidding me? It doesn't make any sense. And I am not buying what you're selling. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. This whole conversation going forward about this whole, it does not make sense. You know what does make sense? I'll tell you. I don't mind saying it, allegedly. This is for entertainment purposes only. You know what I think this is? A drug run. There's a drug run or something more nefarious going on between each other. Things might not have worked the way they wanted to. But they go to a storage room. They go to this and that and this and that. This all screams illegal activity of some kind. In my opinion, no one is guilty until proven guilty by a court of law. Hannah Stan, yeah. I'm not buying it. Not buying it at all. And I don't really think anyone should, in my opinion. This is way farther than we think. Now, maybe Jose wasn't way deep down in it like everybody else. Let's say maybe Andrew Hilt. Maybe. I don't know. But there's other people. Jeff. Whoever this Jeff is. Yeah, no. No. This is we have been, everybody has been red flagged on the obvious things for so long. And Jose not coming out was the perfect opportunity to keep people guessing and down these rabbit holes. And now we're seeing that it was obviously, like it always is, the behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. Tim Mullen for a long time, and then he pops up, and now he's not. It's like whack-a-mole. You're trying to figure out which mole to fucking whack when it needs to just be destroyed. And everybody just needs to go for whatever they're guilty of, whether that be drug trafficking, whether that be neglect and not being a mandated reporter, whether it be not reporting SA or whatever. Bring them down until somebody squeals. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I am no law enforcement officer. I am not an attorney. I just know whatever this isn't working, and I'm not buying what you're selling. And I'm going to leave it at that. We'll do part 2 tomorrow about this. This is just ridiculous. And I'm calling Andrew out. I have always called him out. Anytime I ever talk about him, which I don't like talking about him at all, or his baby mama, I don't care who it is. And now Allie's got to talk. Or at least, you don't have to do anything, but you're not looking good, Allie. It's not looking good for you. And I've never said a word about Allie except for, the interview was strange. But here we go. You're gonna see some candles under people's asses. And they might squirm about it. So, as much as again, love the interview room, love Josh. I don't like to pussyfoot around when it comes to children missing and their complicity, being complicit, in child neglect and drugs being around these babies. Sorry, not going to do it. Not today. Allie is in this up to her neck. Yup. And I have a feeling that so is Jody Sue Brown. There might be a full little circle here that's why nobody's talking about this specific thing. And that it has been hidden until those calls came out and Benny did what he did. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. We're at 50 minutes. Guys, thank you so much for joining. I just wanted to hone that in. I hope everybody sees that. Share it. I don't care. Y'all are just as complicit as anybody else, especially those parents, y'all. I would Google legal representation. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, new members. Karen Canada, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you so much. Links will be in the membership section for Discord and Facebook. And there are some new videos that you get to see now because you joined. All right, guys. Drink some water. Hug yourself. Hug yourself real good. Hug your babies. Hug your grandbabies. Hug your fur babies. And I will see you guys on the next live, which will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central. Thank you. Bye-bye.